Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and you guys know what time it is. Time to talk about current events in the online fitness community, and Sean Nalewanyj has made a video. I think I got his name right that time. He made a video discussing bear mode versus aesthetic mode. Now, it's actually a really good video, but I want to poke fun at it anyways. You guys know that because you use the term bear mode, and you guys know how I love to make fun of this industry. So let me go ahead and put on my +5 hat of speechcraft, lovingly called my +5 hat of autism by many of you, and let's talk about this. Sean, in case you weren't aware, bear mode is from Strap-On Destiny, and that was basically his nod of coming out of the closet when he made that term up, because it's essentially, it's from the gay community. That was his way of kind of saying, hey, I'm really kind of insecure about it, but I kind of want to come out, because when he made the video about that, he was standing in front of a closet talking about bear mode, and he even flashed like some gay fetish stuff in there when he made the video. So that's Alex's kind of way of saying that's the case without actually saying it. So really that's taken from Alpha Destiny. Now I'm jokingly calling a similar concept orc mode, which is the same basic idea of just being big, being strong, being thick, and not worrying about being particularly lean, but staying healthy and fit. Which is, again, I think ideal for a lot of strength athletes, but we could argue about ideal body fats even for competition, because there's a certain threshold even in my sport to where getting down to 10% or even lower body fat in some cases, some rare instances, may actually give you a competitive advantage, depending upon how you go about doing it. But the point that was interesting there is that I think Sean did a good job of kind of highlighting the point that different people do have different goals. They do have different goals, and what a lot of people in this community have got so obsessed with the ultra lean thing that they forget that not everybody likes that, not everybody cares about that, and quite frankly, it's not even necessary to be at an extreme level of fitness and health. And it's actually dangerous to maintain really low body fats, like really low body fats for long periods of time. It really is. It's actually just as bad for you as being fat, right? To walk around at 8% body fat for most people is going to kill you just as quickly and hurt you just as bad as being 25 or 28% body fat. It will. It's bad for you. And that doesn't get stressed enough in this community. And I like the fact that he pointed that out, that the healthy body fat range is 10 to 20%. Because it's the stuff that a lot of us deal with just the nonsense because of this whole weird fetishized manorexic community that you have, which is, again, a bunch of male anorexics who are obsessed with being ultra lean, and they actually think that that's somehow the fitness standard, and that's not the reality. And then they'll come to channels like mine where a guy who is in the high teens, confirmed by DEXA scan. I mean, anyone wants to argue about a DEXA scan, come on. Trust me, a DEXA scan is better than your eyeballs for determining someone's body fat. I mean, I was 17% on my last DEXA scan, which is, again, exactly the sort of range that he's talking about. That is what he's talking about with this certain thicker size and everything else. It's in the healthy range. And for men, 10 to 20% is your sweet spot for health. And that's a pretty big range, because that's literally double the amount of fat. In other words, 20%, you're going to have twice as much fat on your body as you do at 10%. So that's a very, very big range, but that's generally the healthy range for men. And if you are inside of that range, your body fat itself is not actually a cause for concern in terms of health. It's not going to contribute to health problems. It's not. Other things in your life might, but your body composition is not going to at that point. And I do appreciate the fact that he pointed that out, because that does need to be said. And I actually agree with his points about staying in that range. I absolutely agree with that. 100% agree with that. That even if you're a guy who wants to get bigger, you don't mind carrying a little extra body fat, you start drifting above 20%, even if that's a look you're trying to get, you should probably cut back down. I mean, realistically speaking, going over 20% body fat for any sort of extended period of time as a man, not a good idea, particularly those of us who are not spring chickens anymore, guys like myself, guys like Sean. We're not 25. You can't walk around at 25% body fat and be healthy. It's going to hurt you eventually. You can't do that at our age. You just can't. So it's a point that needs to be made from a health perspective. It absolutely does. So It's like for me, that's another reason I don't bulk anymore. I'm not going to bulk again. I'm just going to recomp at this point. But when I want to gain muscle, I will recomposition to this body weight. I don't plan on bulking again. It's just not healthy to do at a certain threshold. And by that same token, going under 10% body fat, you better know what you're doing. For you, all these kids who say, oh, I want to get shredded, and they don't have a really good reason to do it, and they don't know what they're doing, that's actually harmful too. And there's a lot of people in the industry who promote that, and they're promoting and monetizing eating disorders who are themselves maintaining body fats that are not healthy. And it is harmful to them, but because it's trendy and marketable, they're going to make a lot of money off of it. But it's not. That's not promoting health or fitness either, right? To be 7% body fat, 8% body fat, and stay there and promote it, it's not good. And then a lot of people say, well, what is someone like Sean at? Well, Sean's probably, I mean, just estimate, because I just see him with the tank top on. I'm going to bet he's around 10, 11%, or maybe 12. He's somewhere in that range. And you know what? That's the low end of the healthy range, and I'm at the higher end of the healthy range. And people need to remember that. You're talking about health and fitness, not chasing necessarily just a certain look. But then we come back over to the point of the look. We come back over to the point of the look. You know what? Different people care about that. I don't. It's not my gig. I care about performance. But it's also that some people don't really want a certain look. Some people don't want to be at the body fat I'm at, right? They don't. That's not the look they want. And that's okay. That's fine. You do you. But people need to also understand there are people who don't want the really lean look either. And again, people would be shocked. And it's funny because it's like when you read all the people who come here and hate, like what I do, for example, who would look at that and call that whatever bear mode, I call it orc mode. They would say, oh, that looks terrible. Oh, that's just your opinion. That's your opinion. I also get people who post under their real names on my social media who are like, I want that look. They're out there. They're clearly out there. You will see women who post in there who lift, who are followers, who will say, I like that look. And that's what you guys need to remember. When you're dealing with stuff, it's not a one-size-fits-all. When you're dealing with something that's such as appearance or something that you would think of as something aesthetics or anything like that, that is a very subjective thing. And here's what's going to surprise a lot of you. A lot of you guys out there, think about it. Some guys like small butts, some guys like big butts, some guys like blondes, some guys like brunettes. Some guys like tall girls, some guys like short girls, some guys like really thin girls, really skinny girls, some guys like girls with a little more curves, right? Shouldn't be hard. So all you guys who are younger and you're thinking about that, think about that, right? Yeah? Think maybe women actually like different things. And I don't mean that women want a guy who's completely out of shape and a slob, but you need to factor in that different women are attracted to different things. There are women who like the guy with the chiseled abs and the tan and the shaved body hair. There are women who like that. There are also women who find that very effeminate. Okay? There are very attractive women who find that to be too effeminate for them. You know what? And that's just their personal taste. You're not going to change their mind. And it's interesting because I've met fitness models. I have actually met fitness models, bikini babes, who will not date guys with that look. They don't like it. They think it's feminine. And they're like, I want to be the feminine one. I want to be the woman in a relationship. I'm not interested in hanging out with another chick. I'd be a lesbian. And that's how they view it. They view that mindset. They view that look. There are women who find a man who is at a healthy body fat, but not ripped, who has body hair. They find that to be manly and masculine. There are women who are actually turned on by that. Okay? Just like you guys, you see different body types and things on women and you get turned on because you think it's more womanly or not. There are women who, when they see men, are attracted to different physique types and body types, including even among guys who lift and guys who train. And so when you think of it from that perspective, if we're talking about from a human attraction perspective, and all you guys say, well, that's not a reason to train. Well, it's always going to be a factor, right? A lot of what we do in life, even if it's for our own personal satisfaction, a lot of what we do is still always going to have an element of things we do to attract mates or to, do different things to impress the other sex. That's just human nature, guys. That's human nature. That's normal. We all do that. That's normal. But what a lot of people need to understand is kind of like what Sean said, Different people have different tastes. Different people have different goals. And people need to understand that what people outside of this little world that you guys live in the online fitness world, people outside of that world also have different tastes in what they view or they think looks good and what they don't. Right? And I think that's a point that Sean was making with that. That's the best way to put it. And you do really and truly have to understand that. You have to understand that from that perspective. And here's what I would say. And this is where I would agree with Sean. There is no right or wrong in there. Purely subjective. As long as a person is staying healthy and fit and they are training and eating a good diet and doing cardio and their body fat is somewhere in that healthy range, I don't believe there's a wrong answer. There's no right or wrong in that. Again, it comes down to personal preference. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.